What is up, people? What's up? That took a lot of energy. I hope you are well. I am super tired because it's been a long week. Today we're gonna go into the boring stuff. But you need to know this boring stuff. You need to know it, okay? If you don't know it, well, you'll know it now. There's a triangle that you need to know. You need to know this triangle. And if you balance this triangle, magical things will happen. Things will appear onto your camera. You need to balance it to get a sweet, magical thing on your camera. Alright, so first corner of our triangle is called ISO. It stands for International Standards Organization. Back in the day, they used, like the prehistoric people, they used film cameras, and you would put a roll of film inside the camera and then light would be exposed onto the film. Now ISO stood for International Standards Organization, and it would give a rating for each roll of film. The lower the rating, the less sensitive that roll of film is to light. And the higher the number, or the higher the rating, the more sensitive that roll of film would be to light. Alright, so that term transferred over to digital cameras, and it now refers to the sensitivity setting on your sensor inside your camera. I'll explain now. There's a sensor, and how sensitive that sensor is to light. The lower the number, the less sensitive it would be, and the higher the number, the more sensitive it would be. Bear in mind, the lower the number, the less noise you would have on your photo, and the higher the number, the more noise you would have on your photo. And it would be more difficult correcting that in a post-editing situation. Sometimes you want more noise on a photo if it's an art effect that you're going for. Push up the ISO and get like a grungy, like a heavy metal effect on your photo. So yeah, that's ISO. So the smaller the ISO number, the less sensitive your sensor is to light, and the higher the number, the more sensitive your sensor is to light. Okay, next corner, pillar of the triangle is the shutter speed. Okay, so also smaller number, the smaller the number, the slower your shutter speed would be, and the higher the number, the quicker your shutter speed would be. What the shutter does, it allows light to come into your lens and onto the sensor. The quicker the shutter speed, the less light it would then essentially allow through the lens, and the slower shutter speed, the more light it would allow through the lens onto your sensor. The third one is called aperture. You've got a tiny little hole. If you look straight into your lens, you've got a tiny little hole. A tiny little pinhole where light can travel through lens onto the sensor. You can also make it a bigger hole. You can widen the aperture. You can do that as well. Okay, but now your numbers are turned around. If you think about aperture, you have to think in reverse. It took me a while to get the hang of this, but you have to think in reverse. The smaller the number, the more light you would let into the lens, and the wider the aperture would be. The bigger the number, the less light, and the smaller the little hole will be. Okay, so a smaller number, 3.5 on a standard lens, on a kit lens that you would get with a camera, would allow more light in. But now this shutter speed is where you okay. reverse. Holes. Reverse. Okay, so shutter speed is that's the setting you're gonna set when you are deciding how much light you want to travel through the lens. How much, so less light or more light. That's where you're gonna think light. I'm gonna think shutter speed. If you're gonna think depth of field, you're gonna think aperture. So if I wanted everything at the back here to be blurry, I didn't want to see the amp or the guitar at the back here or the TV, everything just had to be blurry, then I would go for a lower number. 3.5 is actually still too high to get that full on, you call it bokeh, I don't know, it's Japanese, I wouldn't know. So that number is still too high to get that effect. You would probably go to 1.5, 1.8, but now you need an additional lens to achieve that, because not all lenses can go that wide. Like not all holes can go as wide. Okay, so that's aperture, depth of field. So the higher the number, the more of the background you would see, the more the background would be in focus. And then ISO would be the sensitivity of your sensor inside. Now you'd adjust your ISO based on your light conditions. If it's sunny outside, you shoot at an ISO of 200. If it's overcast, you'll up the ISO to about 400. At night time, you'll shoot anywhere between 800 and 1600. The moment you go over 1600, in my experience, the photos just tend to be crappy. So I would rather just get a tripod out then, bring the ISO a little bit down, because you don't want, at night you don't want movement, you want the tripod. So I'll get the tripod out and I'll bring the ISO down a bit and then play with the other two to achieve a crisp, clear photo. So it's been 7 minutes, 22 seconds, and I've not done any magic tricks. It's just this today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Just for your information, I'm shooting at an ISO of 200. My aperture, and they also call that f-stop. Your f-stop is 3.5. And then my shutter speed is on auto because I'm shooting a video on a vlogging camera. So I didn't really worry about that too much today. So please, I've got an Instagram up. Now get a pen, get a piece of paper. My Instagram handle is slowdownbruce.media.production. So it's at slowdownbruce.media.production. Please follow me over there, like my posts. I'm gonna have some tips and tricks and camera reviews up there, some eye candy for your enjoyment. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also follow us on Facebook for any announcements that we might make. And as always, have some coffee and enjoy your week. Scrub, wash your hands. Enjoy. Bye.